You sign the offer. The new producer starts Monday. Now what? This training shows you the simple onboarding system that turns a new hire into a contributing producer inside 90 days. Not a 6-month ramp, not a guess and check process. A specific, repeatable 30, 60, 90-day plan you can run for every agent you ever hire. Here is why this matters for your business. The first 90 days decide everything. A producer who is writing business by day 90 becomes a long-term asset. A producer who is still ramping at day 120 almost never recovers, and you carry that weight on your books for the next year while you decide whether to cut them. The fear most agency owners carry is that they will not have time to onboard properly. They are still selling, still managing the book, still putting out fires. So they hand the new agent a stack of carrier guides, a login to the CRM, and a hopeful pat on the back. Then they wonder why the producer is unproductive 60 days later. The technique here solves that. The system is designed to take 3 to 4 hours of your time per week for the first 90 days, in defined blocks, and produce a competent producer at the end, not optional. Not nice to have, required. Step 1 is the pre-start week. The week between offer acceptance and day 1 is wasted by most agency owners. It is the highest leverage week in the entire onboarding process. In that week, you do 4 things. 1, send the offer letter, contractor agreement or employment paperwork, and any state or carrier appointment forms so they can complete licensing crossovers and carrier appointments before they show up. Always work with your employment attorney and a licensing specialist on this paperwork. 2, send a 1-page document called the first 90 days. It lists, in order, what they will learn each week and what they will produce by month 3 and month 6. They walk in on day 1 already knowing the path. 3, send your top 3 carrier rate sheets, your standard intake form, and 1 recorded sales call from your own book, if you have one. Watching how you handle a real client teaches more than any product manual. 4, block your calendar. Daily 1-hour blocks for the first 2 weeks. Weekly 2-hour blocks through day 90. If your calendar does not have the time blocked before the producer starts, the time will not exist when they need it. Step 2 is week 1. Week 1 is not selling. Week 1 is observation and product immersion. Trying to make a new producer write business in week 1 is the fastest way to break their confidence. Day 1 is paperwork, system access, and a walkthrough of how your office actually runs. Where leads come in, how appointments get scheduled, where notes get logged. What every step in your sales process looks like in practice. Days 2 through 5, the new producer shadows you. They sit on every client call you take. They watch every appointment you run. They read every email you send to a prospect. They take notes in a shared document, and at the end of each day, you spend 30 minutes reviewing what they observed. By Friday of week 1, the producer has seen your full sales process, from intake to enrollment, multiple times, in real conditions. They know your voice, your pacing, your objection responses, your close. That is the foundation. Skip this week, and the producer never sounds like your agency. Step 3 is weeks 2 through 4. This is the role reversal phase. The producer goes from observer to operator, with you in the seat next to them. In week 2, the producer runs intake calls while you listen on the line. They take the lead through your standard intake script. After every call, you spend 10 minutes on what worked, what missed, and what to adjust on the next one. In week 3, the producer runs full appointments while you sit in the room or on the call as the silent expert. They drive the conversation. You only step in if a compliance issue or a serious factual error comes up. In week 4, the producer runs appointments solo. You debrief afterward. By the end of week 4, they should have written their first 1 to 3 applications. If they have not, do not panic. Some producers ramp in week 4, some in week 6. What matters is the trajectory, not the exact day. By the end of month 1, the producer can take a lead from intake to enrollment with minimal supervision on a standard product like MedSup or Term Life. Complex products and harder objections come later. Step 4 is days 30 through 60. This is the volume building phase. The producer has the basic process. Now they need reps. You move from daily 1-hour blocks to 2 times per week, 2 hours each. You review their pipeline at the start of every meeting. You listen to 1 recorded call per week. You give them harder leads, harder products, and harder objections, in that order. By day 60, the producer should be writing 5 to 10 applications per month, depending on lead flow and product mix. The expectation was set in writing before they started. Now you are measuring against it. If they are at half the expected number, adjust the training. More ride-alongs, more call review, more role play on the specific objection they are losing on. If they are at 0, you have a different problem and should have caught it sooner. Always document performance conversations and consult your employment attorney before any formal action. Step 5 is days 60 through 90. This is the independence phase. You move from 2 times per week to once per week, 1 hour. The producer brings their pipeline. You troubleshoot specific deals. You introduce more advanced products. You talk through their book strategy. They start handling renewals on their own clients. They start taking referrals. By day 90, the producer should be at the production target you set in writing on day 1. If they are, you graduate them to the regular team meeting, cadence, and shift your time to the next hire or to your own production. If they are not, you have a clear conversation with documented data about whether they are on track to recover. Always document and consult your attorney before any decision to terminate. Here is how this comes together for a real onboarding. You hired a producer in early September. Their start date is the first Monday of October. You used the last week of September for paperwork, the first 90 days document, and 3 recorded calls from your own book. Week 1, they shadow you on 12 appointments. Week 2, they run intake on 20 leads with you on the line. Week 3, they run 6 full appointments with you silent in the room. Week 4, they run their own appointments and write their first 2 MedSup applications. Days 30 through 60, they hit 8 applications a month. Days 60 through 90, they hit 12. They start handling renewal calls and write 3 additional applications from referrals. By day 90, they are at production target and earning their compensation cleanly. They become an asset, not an expense. Common mistake to avoid. Do not let week 1 slip into selling. The pressure to make the producer pay for themselves immediately is real, and it kills more new agents than any other single factor. Week 1 is observation only. Hold the line. Another common mistake. Do not skip the recorded call review. Listening to your own producer on a real call is the single most accurate read on what they actually need to learn. Block 1 hour every week. Do not delegate it. Do not skip it. Your action step today. Build your 1-page first 90 days document. Open a blank page. List week 1 through week 12 down the left side. Across from each week, write what the producer will learn and what they will produce. When you have a draft, share it with one trusted producer or another agency owner you respect, get their feedback, and lock the final version. From the day you have that document, every new producer you hire walks in already knowing the path. The agencies that ramp producers fastest are not the ones with the best leads or the best comp plans. They are the ones with a written onboarding plan that runs the same way for every hire. Build it once. Run it forever.